The show was developed by a woman. You're an EP. Other women are as well. There's women writers. And it's refreshing to see adult women having sex that is not trashy looking. And, like it's done with a female gaze. It's done with women involved in the production. And it also looks at sex from not only as adult, but young, but also through trauma as well that people will see as it unfolds. And I'm just curious, because it looks different to me seeing women behind the scenes working on a subject like sex. Does it feel different for you in front of the camera?
Yes, giantly. And I think too, this is the most amount of sex scenes I've ever done for anything. And there were days where I had 3 different sex scenes with 3 different guys. It was really quite disconcerting. But I kind of felt like this, if I'm going to do this, and I don't and have never done any real nudity, and I don't plan to, but I allowed more of me to be seen than I typically do, which is nerve-wracking in your 40s. And I felt like, okay, if I'm going to do this, then this is the group I want to do this with. I had for that particular episode, I had a female director who, walked me through the whole thing, and I had enough of a voice. Now I feel like I have more of a voice at 40 than I did at 20. And I could say what I was or wasn't comfortable with, and I could ask to see the footage, and I could have a say. And if I felt like I didn't want it to air, and that's how everyone was treated. And, Sarah and I were so supported. There were so many underwear scenes. There were so many scenes where we were really vulnerable. And Maggie was like, our showrunner was just like, whatever you want to do is fine with me, whatever you're comfortable in. If you'd rather be in sweats and a t-shirt, do that. Like there was, it was so left up to us to, use our instincts and our discretion that was huge. And things have changed a lot, and I am incredibly grateful for that. But we had a intimacy consultant, I guess.
Oh,
on the
wow.
set for that really difficult and complicated scene with the young Tully. And I just felt such a sense of relief that she was being taken care of, that somebody was there just to simply make sure she felt comfortable, safe, and protected, because it is intense. You forget how intense it is to ask a young girl to act something like that out. And even with I wish the intimacy consultant had been there for some of those sex scenes, just to make sure I was looking my best and positioned properly. But I'm very grateful that Netflix took that as seriously as they did, and were so supportive of us.
Is that something that has changed in the industry over the last few years? I mean, were there always intimacy people there to help with sex scenes, or is it in the past just sort of been you're on your own?
Yeah, it was I've never seen or heard of that before this show. And in the past, it's always just been it's sort of been worked out between you, the director, your co-star. I've never had a bad experience where I felt like I was being taken advantage of in any way. I've always felt that the crew and the directors I've worked with have been very respectful, and they typically close the sets down. So it's just 3 or 4 people, the least amount of people they can get away with being there. So it doesn't feel like some kind of opportunity to gawk or, it didn't feel gratuitous. But I know and have spoken to so many young actresses who have not had that great an experience, and or have felt bullied or pressured. And I'm just so grateful that things are moving, that it's changing. Because I was really fortunate. I had my mother always there with me. I started at 12. I started acting at 12, but we started together when I was 9, and she had to be there. I had to have a guardian. And then all through my teenage years, my early 20s, my mother and I continued to work together, and she's fearless. So she was never afraid to tell them to themselves. And she supported me. I didn't want to do nudity. I had been asked several times, and my mother would just put that hammer down. No, she will not do it. But not everybody had that or has that. So I'm just really grateful that the people at the top now are taking that as seriously as they should, and providing it for especially young girls.